Hey, good morning, everyone. Happy Friday. Got a little ditty for you. A little Chris Stapleton this morning. We'll see how this goes. I just was practicing. We'll see. There's a bottle on my dresser by my bed, but it's empty. Just a little teaser, right? So, I'll always just give you a little bit of something, different styles. That is finger picking, which is really cool. We'll learn more about this later, that I use what we call drop D. You're like, drop D? What does that mean? Well, that's for you to find out later, that as we learn. You're a beginner. But there is just some cool styles that you can do. So hopefully everybody's having a good day. If you're watching this for the first time, howdy. I'm James Dean, the owner of James Dean Rocks here in Georgetown, Kentucky, in my quarantine headquarters, locked up. My beard is normally not this shaggy, and not this red and this white. It's kind of crazy. I need a haircut. So anyway, hope you guys are having a good day. Today we got a lot to work on. We're going to review, and as I told you yesterday, we're going to review a little bit less from what we did, and each day we add. So get on here, be ready. Also, a reminder, if you're watching this for the first time, you're like, oh, heck, it's on number 6. That's okay. You can go back and watch 1 through 5 on my Facebook here at James Dean Rocks Music School, or you can head on over to YouTube and subscribe to James Dean Rocks Music School. And I'm begging. Go out there and subscribe. I'm trying to get 1,000 subscribers. I've got 48. I'm a little short. So anyway, just a reminder, if you're enjoying this and you would like to bless my family, this is my income right now. I do work part-time at church, but this is really, my school is kind of almost dead in the water right now. So you can tip me at paypal.me/James Branham or Venmo me. My ID is James Dean Rocks. So anyway, let's get some good stuff. Here is the map of the United States. Comment below. I know Jan's on here religiously, and she's here in Georgetown. Comment that, Jan. The more you guys comment, the more that it helps me. Facebook they're not going to let stuff get out there if we don't have interaction. It really is kind of crazy. But the more that you like, the more that you share stuff. And when you share, you just don't share it by going share. You say something about it. When you go eat at a new restaurant, you just don't, you don't just go, there's a new restaurant out there, go try it. No, you go, man, I went to this restaurant, they had the best, blah, 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 blah. And likewise, when you hate it, man, you guys tell a lot more about it when you hate it. So just remember, just share. But comment below where you're watching from. Would love to know. It's always fun. Jan's always right on task with that. All right, let's get straight into our guitar stuff. Just to review real quick, here's your string. 6E, 5A, 4D, 3G, 2B, 1E. Everyone should be able to tune by now. We've also talked about the different parts of the guitar. We talked about the bridge, the saddle, the fretboard, the headstock, the tuners, which are very important, right? We also talked about how to tune. You guys should have already tuned by now. In fact, I am a little out of tune because I did a drop D. So I'm going to tune that real quick while you're on here. And we talked about if you're flat, what do? You tighten the strings, right? If you are sharp, you do what? You loosen the strings. If you're in tune, what do? You leave it alone. Also, the other thing that we talked about on tuning is, as a new person that's tuning, as a new guitar player tuning, you want to take your left hand and follow your string until you get up to which one you're supposed to turn. Okay? Why? Because you don't turn the wrong one. I've had many students just turn the wrong one, or they break a string and they call me and go, I broke a string, Mr. D, my guitar. Yeah, whatever. I get it. We can fix it. It's going to be a little bit harder these days right now. All right. We also talked about how to hold the guitar. We talked about getting that thumb right in the middle of that neck so you can pivot, right? We also talked about having that guitar go across your body. Some people can put it inside their thigh right there. Some can set it on the edge. It really depends on, we're going to open this up. It really depends on your guitar. It really does, the shape of it. Also, we talked about that when we put our hands up here, that we keep our thumb there, that wrist is forward. You see how my wrist is forward? And so when I'm playing, that I leave that gap in my hands. I'm terrible about showing that. It's always hard. You don't want to grip it like this. This is not a baseball bat. Now, Mr. Dean, I've seen people that hold it like that. Well, you're not those people. You are one of my students, so you do what I say. Now, is it possible down the road you will do things? Yeah, absolutely. There is chords that you'll play that your thumb will need to be part of it. Okay? But for you right now, trust me, you want to have that thumb in a good position back there so you can do things like, I'm a bass player, so I would not be able to do that if my thumb was on top. Listen to this. There's no way that I could stick my hand up here and go, I can't even do it. So keep that thumb there, keep that wrist forward. Remember also, don't be doing the chicken dance with your arm up this high. We need it natural, relaxed with a little bit of a gap right there. That'll keep you from, if you tuck your arm in, your wrist is going to move, right? So relaxed. Get that core all in shape. All right, so yesterday I asked you guys to work on this finger exercise that we're going to do together right now. Just a reminder, if your guitar is in bad shape, let me know, Jan. I'll get with you this weekend and pick yours up and look at it and try to get back to you by Monday. We're going to try. We'll talk. I'll send you a message. Looks like Junior is on from Blue Creek, Ohio. Is it JR or Junior? I don't know. If it's JR, just put J-R. That's how I'll know. But if it's Junior, just say yes. That's all I need to know there. All right, so we did our exercise. Hopefully you guys worked on it. Did you have any problems? Did you have any concerns? Did it hurt? Did your finger bleed? Did you just let me know. Comment below. So we get our thumb in the correct position. Our arm is relaxed. We bring our fingers up. And all I wanted you to do was do this without strumming. Now, we talked about when you get up, so it is JR. Thank you, JR. I won't call you Junior no more. JR. I like it, like J.R. Ewing. Who shot JR? All right, so keeping that thumb there, because what will happen, and I showed you guys this the other day, while you're doing this, that thumb will pivot. So it's very important that you keep that thumb there, and it's okay to bring that hand around like this when you go there. So you watch my hand, boom, 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 and then I bring it over, right? That pinky's tough. So working on a little bit, getting those fingers, having a little bit of muscle memory, right? Good. So continue to do that this weekend, and let's jump into our chord grid. On Monday or Tuesday, we're going to start working on a little bit of strumming. I really get the left hand going first. I think for me, as a teacher, the left hand is the toughest, but the easiest at the same time. So we do that, and then we'll work on the right hand. So if you haven't got you a pick yet, I talked about that in class 1 and 2. You need to get you a guitar pick. Have that ready, because we're going to talk about guitar picks on Monday or Tuesday and how to hold that. Show sideways how forward your wrist is. All right, so my thumb is here. My wrist is pretty forward. Do not strum. We do not want it this way. We do not want your arm like this. That wrist is forward. I would probably, Jan, do it to where you feel comfortable, that you can still reach that. That's a big issue that a lot of students make. They wanted to play like this. And if you do that, your fingers, see how straight they get? We want that thumb and wrist forward. I would probably say that your wrist is almost straight, right with where the neck is. Okay? That's a great question, Jan. Great question. Cal, you're in Harrison, Ohio, Cal? That's cool. Yeah, that wrist needs to be forward. If you keep it, tilt it back, you can just watch. Watch my hands here. I'm going to bring my wrist back. Look how my finger wants to come back this way, and it hurts. Having that wrist come forward, it makes it easy to reach those strings. Okay? So good job. Thank you, Jan, for that. All right. So we're moving on to this guitar chord right here. This is our first chord we're going to learn. A couple things that we need to know. This is a chart. People always say, well, Dean, are you going to teach how to read guitar music? Well, there's a whole lot of different things that we can do to read music. So we're going to keep it simple. This is the universal way of reading guitar music. So my first question to you guys, what's the difference between a chord and a note? Can anybody tell me that? The difference between a chord and a note. I'll give you a few seconds. I know there's a delay. I'm going to have a sip of unsweet tea. The difference between a note and a chord is real simple. A note is a single sound. You got that? A chord is two or more notes together. So when I played that at the beginning, that's why I did that. You know, I've got to, give me 1 second, I got to drop this back down. I'm going to play a chord for you. I'm playing two notes at the same time. Hear that? So it could be two or more. If there's only one, then it's a note. But if there's two, you hear that? A little bit out of tune. Let me tune it back real quick. So that's the difference between a note and a chord. So today we're going to learn how to read a chord chart. So first thing we notice on there is the chord name, E minor. What is an E minor and what is an E regular E? You know, I am big about teaching and self-learning, so I'm going to play a song that I'm going to write right now. Right now, I'm going to write this song. And I need you to tell me what's the difference between an E minor and a regular E chord. I'm going to play the E regular E chord first and then the minor second. Do not be watching how I play it. I want you to listen with your ear. Okay? Here we go. E major will be first. And then you'll hear E minor. So here we go. I went to the store the other day, gonna get me one of those orange slushies. I bought it, and I walked out of the store, and I dropped it. I dropped my orange slushie all over the floor. I went the other day, and got me a brand new pair of britches. I went to the playground, and I bent over, and I ripped my new pair of britches. I ripped them good there. All right, so can you tell me the difference between an E, regular E, and a minor, E minor? Remember, the first one was the regular E, and the second one was the E minor. Can you tell me the difference? I'm not looking for the scientific or the theory of it, just sound-wise, what's the difference? If you said that the E minor was the regular E was happy and the minor was sad, you're correct. I remember there was these black and white movies that I'd watch as reruns when I was a kid, and there would be this evil guy tying a girl to a railroad track. ha. And he'd be tying her to the track. And then all of a sudden, the guy would come in to save her. I'm here to save the day. And then the bad guy goes, oh, no, you're not. That's the difference. A minor chord is really kind of a dark, scary tone. So we're going to learn an E minor today because, number one, it's an easy chord, but it's also fun. All right, so with that said, looking at this E minor here, you know that's right, Jan. Jan's right. To our society, a minor chord sounds sad. There was a scientist, this is a little side note, I'll make this sweet, a psychologist, had done a little trial as a kid. He taught his son that as he's a real young child, that anytime that he would hear a minor chord, to the kid, it was a happy thing. Whenever he'd hear like a regular E, it was sad. So the kid went to school the first day and they sung the national anthem. The kid cried because it was a major key, which is a whole other thing. But just a little side note if you're able to follow that. So anyway, looking at this chord chart, I asked you guys to look at E minor is what we're going to look at. The dark part of that, underneath that E minor, is the nut. On your guitar, I almost said ukulele, this is the nut. The nut helps to lift the strings off of the fretboard. Sometimes you need to adjust the nut to bring the height of the strings so your strings don't hurt. And then if you notice on there, it says the first fret bar, the second fret bar. At the very bottom down there, it tells you which fingers to use. Now, sometimes these are different. They'll be at the bottom, or they'll actually be a white number inside where to put your fingers. Okay? Do you guys see that? So, with that said, the side that says where to put your fingers, that is our number 6 string, E. And then it's A, and so on. Okay? If you look to the far right where it says fingers used, where it says fret bar, it says at the bottom, this is our first string. So, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now, we talked about this the other day. How many fingers I'm holding up? 4, right? So finger number 1 is here. Finger number 2 is here. Finger number 3 is here. And finger number 4 is here. Today, if you look down there, it says fingers used. We're going to use finger 2 and 3. Do not leave 3 up by itself. You'll get in trouble, kids, adults, all y'all. Okay? So, here's what we're going to do. We are going to place, we're going to start with finger number 2. Finger number 2 is not, finger number 2 is the one I'm not going to stick up by itself. Sorry. Finger number 2 is the bad one. Never do that by itself. We're going to place finger number 2. It says on here that we need to place it on the A string, the 5th string. So find your 5th string. It's going to be next to the chubby one. Take finger number 2, and let's go down to that 2nd fret. You guys got that? And then it says down at the bottom we need finger number 3. So let's take finger number 3, and it says it goes on the D string, which is string number 4, on the 2nd fret. So they're right next to each other. You guys see that? So there should not be anything up here on the 6th string, and there should not be anything on 3, 2, or 1. So only strings that we are using is 5 and 4, which is the A string and the D string. You got that? Good. We're going to do a technique I call shadow chording. We're going to take our fingers off, and then I want you to put them back down there again. So we're going to put finger number 2 on the 2nd fret of the 5th string, A string, and finger number 3 on the string number 4, the D string, on the 2nd fret. Okay, good. Take them off, do it again. And just do this over and over and over. Make sure you're keeping your thumb. I had to bring mine up because I've stretched out, but I'm going to pull this out so you can see. My thumb is in the right position. Off, on, off, on, off, on, off, on. We call this shadow chording. This technique is something I came up with. It's like shadow boxing. The shadow boxing, if you've ever seen that, the boxers out there boxing before they actually get into a match. They're working through their muscle memory. They're getting to the point where that brain can act without even hesitation. That's what I need you to do this weekend. You need to sit there and go, put your fingers on using that chart, and just take it on and off. Mr. Dean, how many times until you're comfortable? I would recommend doing that 20 times a day. So today, do it 20 times. Saturday, do it 20 times. And Sunday, do it 20 times. Make sure you're pressing really hard, keeping that thumb in the right position. Make sure your posture is good. All those things. You got a lot of things to think about, and we haven't even added anything to it more. I mean, we've got to strum still. We still got to do strumming patterns. So you understand how important it is to get this down without hesitation. Cool. Good job, everybody. So just to review, I need you to work on your finger exercise of boom, 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 and just keep going. If you want to, you can go all the way up the neck if you'd like. Keep that thumb in the right place. Keep that wrist forward, all that. And then the second thing I want you to work on is getting that E minor down, which is really kind of cool. All right, I need to go change my screen here for a second. That was a lot in a short length of time. I appreciate each one of you guys. Again, if you'd like to support and bless my family, you can do it through paypal.me/James Brown or Venmo. My ID is James Dean Rocks. And with all that said, guys, I'm off like a dirty shirt. Peace out.